We're live!
Woo!
Hello! Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day, Katie.
Happy Valentine's Day or Singles Awareness Day.
Yeah, singles awareness. Wow, it's been a long time since I've heard that. Singles Awareness Day. I love
Did I
it.
just date myself?
No, not at all. And in any case, I feel like. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's
There we go.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, the replay was like, okay, there we go.
No
So,
worries.
how are you doing, Katie?
I'm I'm having a fantastic day actually. I don't know about you, but I just like I don't know. I feel like there's so much stress on Valentine's Day to be like, like talking about your significant other or like feeling sad that you don't have one.
Yeah.
And like for so many Valentine's days, like that was me being like, man, I don't have anyone special.
Yes.
I have me. And I think like this is one of the first years where I'm just like, dang, I really like myself and I'm really happy. So why not celebrate?
Yes.
How are
Yes. Happy
you?
Valentine's Day, Gabby. And yes, I feel the same way. I mean, I haven't had a few months. It's been a few months since I felt like, oh, I'm single. Like it hits you like you're supposed to feel bad about yourself or for
Yeah.
yourself. But I've been so busy and I've been so stressed, but in a good way, because the industry that we're both working in is kind of hit or miss in terms of how busy we are. So we have to stay extra busy in order to feel like we've made it. And that can lead to burnout. And sometimes you just don't have time to think about anything else. But in my case, I feel like because of the working, because of how everything is just, it feels like everything is happening at the same time. You don't really have time to think about other things. But this day rolls around and you're like, oh, right, I don't have anyone. But
Yeah.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel like this industry, especially, or like really any creative industry, like there's just so much stress to constantly be working. It's
Yeah,
almost like it's really, really hard to juggle that with a significant other. And like I know people who do that, and I'm like, props to you.
it's a lot.
But
And with children at
yeah.
the same time.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
Don't
God.
even get me started. Like,
How dare you? How dare you have kids
it's just how dare you be like so successful and
at
have love
everything?
and everything in your life. Like I had to choose, like it was me or
Yes.
like some person, but I chose me in my career.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, we're both young. So I feel like that's important to say that when it comes to being single and being a woman in our case,
Mm-hmm.
we're both young. So I feel like it's expected that we aren't necessarily attached to just one person for now. But at the same time, there is expectation of, well,
Yeah.
where's the guy or where's the person that you're supposed to be dating? Like, why are you by yourself? And there's a shame. And I feel like, specifically with books that are marketed this month, it's all about relationships, whether they're real or fake, which I love the fake dating trope. But there's like a lot of heaviness regarding, well, it's February, might as well, all the love or the romance books get pitched during February. Or not all of them, but like there's a huge push for February. But in our case, neither of our books or none of our books have like a romance centered storyline.
Yeah.
So, talk to me a little bit about how you felt when you're writing a middle grade and you know that maybe there is some romance in there at some point,
Yeah.
but it's not on the page. Maybe you ship people in your head, or maybe readers ship people in their heads or in their, spaces, but it's not on the page. So, how was that process for you, knowing that you were tackling a story that was essentially romanceless?
Yeah, sure. First, let me just say, I feel like you're like plucking the thoughts out of my head and speaking them out loud. I
I
just like
have that
literally everything.
talent.
I was like, snaps. I agree with everything she's saying. But yeah, so my debut was a middle grade, The Dragon Warrior, and the sequel, The
Yes.
Fallen Hero, came out last year.
Yay!
Yay! And there's like little tiny hints of like maybe a little bit of romantic
Yes.
tension in there, but it's like far from like the main plot of the story. And like I kind of like even debated with myself if I wanted to include like little hints of romance, just because middle grade is so like like there's not really that much romance in middle grade. But I do think it is natural for kids to have like crushes at that age. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, when I was 12 or 13, I would just like have random crushes. Like they weren't based off of anything like deep. It was just surface
Wasn't
level
it wasn't
stuff.
inspired by, you know, it's like, oh, there's a person that I think is cute or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like the boy who sat across from me at school or something. Like it was proximity, really. I was just like, he is male and I see him every day.
You are
Therefore,
male,
crush.
therefore I acknowledge you. Yes, I acknowledge your
Therefore,
maleness. Wow. The bar is low, people. The bar is very low.
oh my
We
god,
need to raise those standards. But
the
actually,
bar is on the floor.
correct. It's gone. We can't see it. But I feel like I'm similar, especially in high school. I would have a friend who would come up to me and she would say every Monday morning during our breakfast, she would be like, okay, Amparo, so who is it this week? Who are we crushing on this week? It was that bad. Like, I was crushing on a lot of people, but it was normal for me. And then I saw all of my friends or most of my friends in committed relationships at 15, 16, and 17. And some of those relationships, I don't know if this happened to you, but sometimes you can tell when those relationships are not going to go anywhere. It's just going to be a high school thing or a weekend thing. But there are others, very few of them, that you feel are going to last. And that's something that I love reading about in
Yes.
fiction or watching in films. It's just, or shows. I'm like obsessed with seeing the durability or how we can make something that feels ephemeral last longer than that. And I feel like you explore it so well in your books with family. And I try to explore that with like found family more so, and also with cultural identity and how our characters are trying to relate to something that has essentially been not too much of their focal point growing up in terms of like how others perceive them, because for them their cultural identity is important, but others might have a little bit of like, oh, I wonder what does that mean to you? What are you like? You live like this, really? So that's something that in middle grade in general, and some YA in my case, I'm part of the like 1% of YA writers who don't write romance for now. So hello, Taylor. How are you? Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Yes. Welcome. So, Katie, how has the pandemic treated you as a single person?
Well, it definitely hasn't helped my odds of
Right.
finding a significant other. Like, there's like this joke that introverts will be like basically like their significant other will have to drop into their room because they don't go anywhere or like do anything. And I felt that before the pandemic. And now that we really can't go anywhere, I'm
It's
just
like, oh my gosh, there's no choice here. Like, it's done.
yeah, and it's like back to what you said in the beginning about people who have dated and found a significant other in the pandemic.
Yes.
I kind of like some of my friends have done that, and I like
Oh.
side eye a little bit because I'm like, okay, I trust you that you are safe, but do you really trust this other person that you like just started dating that they've been safe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, do they do it via apps, like dating apps?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's a little safer, I guess, because
Yeah.
you're not engaging with the person face to face all the time. It's more of a secure platform. Although we can talk about how secure dating apps really are, how trustworthy they are, and how trustworthy the people on them are. But I feel like, by the way, fun fact, because we, I don't know if you're on dating apps currently or we were at the start of the pandemic.
Was.
You were, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I started and I created a profile right before my book came out, just so I could promote it.
Solid.
The thing is, though, I met some people who were kind of interesting, and then I met one person who was more interested in me than I was in him. So I feel like it's been very strange because during the pandemic and during this whole social distancing that the most responsible people will be, abiding by, I have had more social interaction when it comes to the love department, as they say, than like prior to the pandemic.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens with you or happened to you.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, So it hasn't happened to me. But so before the pandemic, I was living in New York, and in New York,
Right.
it's just like there's just so many people, and people are looking for love all the time.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't like necessarily in anything with anybody, but like there was somebody who I was trying to get over, and then like
Ooh.
the whole pandemic and everything really sped it up, right? But
Right.
then even after that, like I realized I came to this realization that don't I'm not the kind of person who really wants a partner. Like I'm just so
Same.
used to being single, and
Yeah.
like that so for like a year, right, I tried dating a little bit in New York and then got hung
Right.
up on this person, and
Oh,
it made me really like the highs were so high but the lows were so low, and I was like, I don't want that right now I'm just trying to survive, like we're in a pandemic.
yeah.
So I just like basically got off the apps totally.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had
Same.
friends,
It's like
yeah,
delete, delete, delete.
yeah, yeah, like we don't need that in our life. But I have had friends who said like, they've been like dating more, or like people are getting into relationships. I've noticed like my friends like are suddenly cuffed, and I'm like, oh, okay. How?
You're like, oh my gosh. But I mean, we're all adults at this point. You would
Yes.
think that, certain people would say, well, I'm not in high school anymore or middle school. There's no need to be pressuring others into being with someone else, romantically speaking. And I love I love that Adri. By the way, hi Adri. It's like when Ryan used Grinder to promote Bedazzled. Ryan La Sala was just an icon. I mean, it's just like
He's
I don't
so
know.
funny.
Yes, I do not know how effective it was, how successful he was, but I know that it works.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of doing that. I'm worried about Tinder, people finding my social media and then learning too much. Yes, I feel like that's something else that we could talk about, because when we are exposing ourselves essentially to these apps, we don't know truly who we're talking to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people go onto these apps and they're quite honestly desperate to find someone that they connect with or that they click with. And they will connect with the first person who says more than hi. So that's something that I would like to talk about. Like, what makes a connection worthwhile for you? Or like, what makes a connection tell you, I like being single, but I might give you a chance because this is something that feels right to me.
Oh, that is such a difficult question, because
I know.
well,
That's
the
why I
reason
asked.
why I am single is because I've never met somebody who, like, long term, I was like, dang, you make me want to not be single.
Right.
The first thing I would say would just be like if your profile or who you are catches my interest, like if I feel like you're more than just like the average dude holding a fish picture,
I
like
love that.
then I'll
Yes.
give you a chance.
I love that because I would never date that person. It's like,
No,
oh, look,
absolutely, yeah.
a
Oh,
clear sign that I should
yeah,
not
yeah.
bother. I love it.
Yeah, and then like I guess like when you like talk to somebody, especially when you meet up, like because it's hard to tell chemistry over text.
Correct.
When you meet
Yes.
up and you talk to them, you're just like, oh, we naturally have good chemistry. That's when like I'll start getting interested, and that happens like maybe once every 3 years.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, that's relatable actually. Because I feel like when it comes to me, the connection aspect of it, um, my issue with myself is that it's quite random. I know essentially what I think I was talking to a friend of mine 2 days ago, and she asked me like what my type was. I was like, well, a himbo with an edge is basically it. Like that's the whole discussion. That was the summary of it. A himbo with an edge. And it's like Tom Hardy, for example. You think of Tom Hardy, the British actor, and he looks very dangerous. He looks like someone you don't want to talk to necessarily, but he's actually made of goo. Like he's all heart, all emotion, and
Yeah.
that's my type essentially. But oh wait, this fish is my whole personality.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd rather be single than date someone who doesn't feel worth my time.
Yep.
And that's what you deserve. That's what we all deserve. Because we are not here to waste our times, people. Waste our time. Why did I make that plural? Waste our time.
I feel
But yes.
yeah, I feel almost like bad saying this, but like do you
Then you
know
should say it.
people? Do you know of people who like, whether it's like somebody who's like your friend or just like an acquaintance on social media, who you look at their relationship and you're like, I would rather be single than in that.
Yes,
Oh
absolutely.
man.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be very TMI of me, but of course I must say it. I'm a college professor, so
Mhm.
some of my students, for some reason, add me on Facebook. And I say for
Oh
some reason because it's like, what are you expecting me to show you there? It's Facebook, you know? It's just dog pictures and me like
yeah,
doing the peace sign. But a lot of them get very personal on Facebook. Like they
yeah.
treat social media as their journal. And I love it. I love it because I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if they're still together. And then they're not together and they're fighting. And it's so much fun. I don't know if you use social media as like your telenovela as well because I love it.
I feel like that's what TikTok is becoming though. Like, and
Yes.
there's like drama on
By the
there.
way,
Like,
Katie is the queen of
oh no,
TikTok, by the way. Just let me clarify that.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
um, yeah,
Can you
no,
imagine
yeah.
like breaking up with someone and they're going on their TikTok to blast you?
That would be the
Iconic
end of my
behavior.
life. I would just cease to exist at that point. Like
It's
being
like,
dragged
what
on
was the
TikTok,
point
no.
of this? Yes. But I feel like we shouldn't take it for granted, like this opportunity to use social media for our books, essentially, and our personalities, our lives, to show people who we are and what we stand for. But if we can also use it to drag others for entertainment purposes, I am all for that. I will not drag anyone through TikTok or Facebook, but I feel like it's just so much fun as the witness to it all. It's like, oh my God, I love it.
Well, that makes a lot of sense for us because I feel like as writers, we're always like sort of eavesdropping or like we're like
Yes.
watching things happen and we're like, oh, I don't want to be doing that, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to like incorporate this somehow. Like your
Yes.
mess is my content, basically.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like a lot of romance authors, I'm not a romance author, but I'm assuming that they use this as well in terms of how they like to portray the messiness of falling in love and being in a relationship, especially if the relationship is someone who is very different from you or from your usual, you know. That
Yeah.
sounds like a dish out of diner. What'll be your usual? And it's like the dude with the fish.
Oh my god.
So Gabby says there have been way too many people where I've seen their partner and thought, why? Same.
Oh
Same.
my god. Okay, and every time it's the guy, I'm
Yes.
just like, girl, what
Yes.
are you doing?
Yes. I mean, cis men are just on another level of
Like,
nope. Like they really are. They really try the least. And I mean, I'm being too generic here, but yes, for the most part, they are just
yeah.
not, they don't try that hard. Even when they're trying to approach you, not just in pictures and stuff, it's just the actual approach feels very much like, let's see if this works. No thought is given. It's like just there. I'm
Yeah.
here, therefore you must pay attention to me. It's hilarious because it's like, and sometimes it works. You know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
get what they want and it's unwarranted. They don't deserve it. But it happens, it works. And here we are, Katie and I, just judging their pictures
Oh yes. All the
and not
judgment.
replying
Oh,
as we should. As we
yeah.
should. We have better things to do. So,
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm just like I also just feel like so while I was like a teen and then in my early 20s, people kept telling me like it's good that you're single, work on yourself. And
right.
I did that for so long and I've worked myself into like learning how to like dress well and
Yeah.
make myself feel good and worked myself into this career, like this dream career. But
Yeah.
now I'm like looking at all the
Two
guys
actually,
my
because
age.
you're one of the people that has, for me, I think, worked so hard outside of publishing, and now you only focus on publishing, or writing. But you are just one of the most successful people that I've seen in this
Oh my
industry
gosh.
outside of not just writing. It's like, wow, okay, they have like a 9 to 5, and it's like, but now you just dedicate yourself to writing, and that's even more admirable to me. Because it's hard to balance both things, but it's even harder to just dedicate yourself to what is your passion, but now is also your 9 to 5.
Well, thank you.
So
I
it's
mean,
like,
Yeah, no, the whole balancing thing. Like, I also feel like, I mean, that was another reason why I was like, if a guy's coming into my life, he's got to be worth it. Because
Yeah.
when I was in New York, I was working my 9 to 5. It was my debut year. I
Oh,
literally
wow.
I slept like 6 hours every night, and that was like the only like real rest I ever had. Like,
Yeah.
it was a really like wild year. But yeah, I feel like I don't know if you felt this way too, but like I've worked on myself for so long that I'm so comfortable with myself that I haven't met somebody whose like energy is on my level, and I'm like, well, I'm if I haven't met that person, then like why like bother like going out and looking for them?
Yeah. Gabby says, I've seen a lot of straight couples where the girl is ethereal and the guy is just there. Oh, Taylor
Yeah.
says, women are always ethereal. That's
Yeah.
sweet. I mean, I feel like yes to all of that and yes to what you said. In my case, I don't really have a lot of success in saying, yes, I've worked on myself. I know exactly who I am. I know who I am, but your
Wait,
face.
excuse me, excuse me. You are so successful. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
but I guess thank you. But I feel like in terms of like as a human being, as a person, as an adult person, you feel like you still have a lot of room to grow. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're my age or your age or 85, you're still going to have room to grow. And I feel like I have so much left to do with my life that having someone in it, sharing all of my time and my stresses and my happiness with that person, it would entail that that person is even more centered than me. Do you know? I don't know if that's making any sense. It's
Yeah.
not like he has to be, perfect. No one is perfect,
Yeah.
but he has to be more centered and in
Yeah.
some ways as mature as I
Yeah.
am, which sounds strange coming from me because I don't give off mature vibes. But absolutely, the problem is that I feel like I need or I don't need anyone. But if I were to find a partner or consider someone my partner, it would have to be someone who is like can ground me in ways that I wouldn't be able to ground myself. And that's so
Yes.
hard to find, especially
It's
for us daydreaming
so hard.
idealists, you
Yeah.
know? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Do you feel like you have like an ideal kind of person in your mind though?
Like in terms of archetype.
Yeah, like I don't know, like do you feel like you sort of fantasize about like what your ideal
Oh,
partner would be? You know what I'm
well,
saying?
here's you know what I'm saying. Yes. Well, here my thing is though that as you said earlier that you don't want a partner, I feel like I've gotten to the point. I've had this like the third point in my life or the third time that I've been in this point that I feel like I just don't want to be with anyone eventually because I feel like I'm better off single. I get more stuff done. I have more peace of mind. And it's I love being single. Like I
Yeah.
truly genuinely love not worrying about anyone else. Which is also incidentally, I don't know about you, but I personally do not want to be a mother. And so like if I equate, a relationship with getting married and eventually the person might want kids in, I think about all of that and it's like, no, actually I'm better off being by myself. But if I were to tell you like an ideal crush to like pass the time, it would have to be someone who, like I said, was very much grounded in himself, knows who he is, knows what he wants, knows how to get it, isn't waiting for someone to hand him things. He's a go getter. He's a person with ambition and drive, but also a heart of gold. He has to be kinder than me, which I know that doesn't sound like a stretch, but Gabby, yes, it is in fact Wonho. That is the blueprint. Wonho, by the way, I don't know if you know who he is, Katie, but
No, I don't.
he is an idol, a K-pop idol, and he is very much a himbo, looking.
Nice.
He's very strong. He's one of the like fittest idols, but he's actual goo. He's made of goo. Taylor says, "I want to marry Asami Sato or Dahani from The Good Place." Those are
Nice.
excellent. She'll never admit it. I will admit when it needs to be admitted. I love him. I love him. He's perfect, essentially. But I would never be with him, unfortunately, for all of
Yeah.
us. Imagine, I would have babies for him. Absolutely. If he's like, I would like to procreate, I'm like, I would agree that that is the choice that we both need to make. Yes.
Yes. Oh
But
my
yes, I
gosh.
mean, I feel like our journeys have been similar. And in terms of like the dating apps and how we view relationships and how we view ourselves as single people, I didn't know that there's like a hashtag. It's like perpetually single. I didn't know that it existed.
You mean on like Twitter?
I like all on social media. It's
Oh,
like, oh, perpetually single, and I'm like, it's for people who
that's
are
me.
they maybe they maybe have dated or gone on dates, but have never been in like committed relationships. And I feel like there's a lot of people who feel as if they're not normal if they have never been in a committed relationship. By, for example, the first year of college, you're a freshman
Mhm.
and you've never been in a committed relationship, or you graduate college and you get your first job. Oh my God, you've never had a partner? Oh my God. And it's this, it's feeding more insecurities into people that should not be getting more insecurities.
Yeah.
It's enough. So I feel like in terms perpetually single, everyone is just relating now to this.
It makes me so happy because like I feel like social media, like you see everyone's highlights, right? So of course like people who are
Correct.
in a relationship will post their significant other everywhere. So like you see it everywhere and just like, am I the only single person left on this planet? And there's at
Yes.
least two of us here, and whoever else is in the chat. There's at least like five
Yes.
of us.
Yes. There's really no need to feel like you haven't achieved anything or you haven't arrived, because
Yeah.
sometimes, I don't know about you, but as we were saying, these relationships that our friends had when we were in high school, like some of them were just not
Just
great.
ooh.
They were cringy or cringe worthy, and you could see it from miles away that this is just not going to work. It's not going to last. And now I see my students and I'm like, or at least the younger ones, fresh out of high school, and they are like, this is the love of my life. I'm going to be with this person forever. And of course you might. I'm not saying you might not, but I am. It's like, relax.
Yeah. No, it's like so I know like maybe one or two couples who have been together since high school like
Oh,
are
wow.
engaged or married. Right, but it's like the majority of the people I know like broke up because like people
Yeah.
change. Like that's just what we do. Like who I was when I was 16 is not who I am now at 25. Like
Yes.
very 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 different.
Yeah.
And then for most people like even if you don't have like a really big glow up or anything, like you're still going to change over the years. Like you're constantly learning, just constantly like evolving. And so I think the idea that you have like a high school sweetheart who stays with you from high school to college to your first job to like your first house and you guys get married, blah blah blah, like it just I feel like it's not natural for most people. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people
It's
might,
privilege.
yeah. And
It's such privilege.
I think that's why like the divorce rate is like so high because like people will realize when they're 40 like I'm a very different person than who I was when I loved you at 20,
Yeah.
and like we're just not compatible anymore, and like
Yeah.
that's natural too.
And
So
I feel
yeah.
like what you said is so correct in terms of you are someone at 17 that you might not be at 27.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you are with someone at 17, that person is right for you then.
Mm-hmm.
That person is not right for you when you are 27, because you might grow into being at opposites or in opposite directions. So you're not essentially making a mistake by leaving this person, and you haven't failed if you have to leave this person.
Yeah.
You are actually succeeding and winning if you realize that you're better off not being with someone that you can't help grow and that can't help you grow. So I
Yes.
feel like if you're just stagnant and you stay with someone just because, well, we've been together since we were 17, I'm going to just dump him now. I'm like, yes, you should. It's like, but I love him. I'm like, I don't care. Dump him. This is not your partner. This is not your
Yeah.
life partner. And also, in that same or similar to that line, I just saw yesterday. Is it today? Yesterday. It was yesterday. I saw To All the Boys, Always and Forever,
Oh
the last
yeah.
one. And, there's a huge part of their relationship that was the fake dating trope. But at the same time, you see that Peter is like struggling with this issue of abandonment in his mind, that if she has to go study somewhere else, that's not the same place that he's studying, then she doesn't love me. And I feel like there's something so toxic about boys and men, cis boys, cis men, or partners in general. But they're just like specifically cis boys and cis men in television, in books, in movies. You see their toxic behavior and they don't know that it's toxic. They think they're the ones getting hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've met people like that in real life.
I don't think I have. Well, I mean, just like a disclaimer, I don't really have that many close cis male friends, to be honest. Like,
you're good. You're doing well. You are the lucky one.
2 or 3 who I'm like, you're actually a good one. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of it is that like when I was younger, like my mom raised me super sheltered, so I just like never, like rarely ever would like befriend guys. But then like once I went to college, like of course I started making like a lot more male friends. But then like they would do things.
It's always college.
right. Like they would do things to other girls that would make me go, oh, like I don't. That makes me want to not be your friend because based on the toxic way that you treated other females.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like even when the person is your close friend, if you call them out on it, you're being a good friend. Yeah. You're not hurting them. Or if you're telling your boyfriend or your partner, oh, I don't want to do the same thing you want me to do, you're not being a bad partner. You're being yourself, true to yourself. Yeah. And I think that there's something about that in terms of dating apps as well. If you don't reply in the way that the person wants you to reply, there's hostility. There's this, oh my God, you're the problem, not me, you know? And that's really sad. Because you're just like, I did not sign up for whatever this is. I signed up for fun.
Right. Wait,
and essentially love.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Okay, I was just going to ask, when you signed up like right before your book launch, was that the first time you've been on any dating apps?
No. That was like, actually, that was Facebook dating. And I did it because I knew that I was going to be a failure. I essentially signed up and said, this will be a failure. I will be so happy because I wasn't going to meet anyone, right? Mm-hmm. But then I did meet someone like towards the end, literally towards the end, that was, it seemed like a good match. But the problem was that he was very, very gung-ho about the things that I told him I wasn't ready for. And that's strike one. That's a huge red flag. And not just in dating apps, in general. If you're telling someone what bothers you or what makes you feel uncomfortable, don't do it. Because it feels like you don't care about that person. You just want to not be bored and to not be single.
Yeah.
So it's just like, how am I supposed to be in your life if you don't even respect me, you know?
I think that thing that you said about people being bored or not wanting to be single, that is the reason why so many people are in bad relationships or like getting into relationships now. Because I'll like look at them and I'll be like, do you really like each other? Like I can tell when a couple actually like, I'm just like, you guys were meant for each other. I can tell when a couple is like together for the sake of not being alone.
Not being alone. Yeah.
And I don't know. I love being alone. And that was something I learned, just like growing up, like kind of independent as like the elder daughter of an immigrant household, like sort of like always taking on, a more independent role. And then just like by chance not getting into relationships, I just learned self-love. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, I'm fine, guys. Like I have like a lot of, maybe not friends. Well, they are friends, but like,
they're friends. They're so bad. Yeah, they're like, I don't really like them.
I like them, but sometimes I'm like, you're a little bit too into dating, and I'm fine not dating.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And in my case, I don't know. This is gonna be really TMI, and I apologize.
Go for it.
But
I love TMI.
Yes, so do I. That's why I follow everybody on socials. Like, are they still together? Are they beefing? Wow, I haven't said that in so long. Are they beefing?
Are they beefing?
Yes. So Gabby says, I've never used a dating app because I feel like I would have to be friends first. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Gotta have an idea of who they are when they're not trying to impress you. And I absolutely agree. I think that a lot of people do not make those connections easily. And there should be a base first, and then it can grow.
Yeah.
But in terms of my TMI, I don't know if this has happened to you as well. I'm assuming yes, but when you have close male friendships, and those close male friendships are in committed. I see you grinning already. You know what's coming. They're in relationships, but that line from the man's side gets a little blurred because it's like you're my friend. You're in a relationship. Even if you weren't in a relationship, you're my friend. There's nothing going on.
Yeah.
But they kind of blur the line. And you're just like, if I say something, I'm the bad person, and then I'm iced out. And I'm like, but you're the horny one. I don't understand.
Oh my god. I've had that experience. I've also had experiences where I'll have like a close male friend, and once they get a girlfriend, we're just like not close anymore. And I'm
right,
like,
that's the other side. Yeah. It's so annoying.
Like it just happened to
They
me in this
disappeared.
pandemic.
Oh,
because like, so I had this guy friend. Sorry, this is TMI.
it's
Well, you
fine.
already said
We
you like TMI,
we love
so
TMI in this house.
I hope all the listeners like TMI too.
Yes.
So I had this guy friend who we've been friends for like over a year or whatever. We got pretty close in New York, and then like we would talk about like just our lives, dating, relationships, everything, and give each other relationship advice. And this guy had like this on and off thing with this girl, but they made it official during the pandemic. But before they made it official,
What a great time to make it official.
right? The guy had said to me, oh, sometimes like, because I'm really close friends with him, right? So he said, this girl has noticed that I'm really close friends with you and thought there was something between us. I cleared it up with her, but like this girl seemed to like have, I don't know, she kind of seemed to like want to figure out what was going on between us, because she would like comment or like tag in social media sometimes, and I'm like, girl, no. I don't know you. But yeah, now that
I don't know her. Like Mariah Carey, I don't know her.
I just noticed that our relationship isn't really quite the same anymore, or our friendship. And I'm like,
yeah,
interesting, because that's happened to me before too. And I'm like, I kind of see what's going on here. Yeah.
This is so wrong. I mean, I feel like I did have, this is also TMI, but not mine. So I'm borrowing someone's story.
I love it.
Apologies. But so this person that I know, who is not me, was in a relationship, and the man's ex was stalking all of her socials, like checking her stories and seeing like what had been like what they were doing. And I'm like, this is horrendous behavior, like just FYI. But I feel like if the guy isn't willing to also step in and say, whoa, like boundaries, you are no longer my partner, you need to like disappear or not disappear, but don't stalk socially, like cyber stalk my now girlfriend, because it looks really creepy, especially if you've never spoken to her and you're just in her stories, Insta stories, or wherever, just looking at all of her activity. It feels like you just want to see him in her life.
Yeah.
It's so wrong. But that's never happened to me, actually. I kind of want that to happen to me, because I am not the type to stay quiet.
Dang. I mean, that's honestly, like, I don't even check who's checked my Insta stories. Like, that sounds bad.
Oh.
Like, I don't even. Yeah, but I mean, I hope that's not happening to me somehow. I don't think it is.
You're a great person, Katie. No. I'd be like, why are you in my space? How dare you?
Yeah. No, that's I feel like social media has made it so that it's like unclear where the boundaries are, and like,
for sure. Yeah.
Like, it just can get so uncomfortable, because like, how do you block somebody who you don't know from seeing your stories? Like, how do you even like
actually, I do know that. I do know how to do that.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that.
And actually, I do know that because, again, TMI, there is a guy who is the former partner of one of my best friends, and he is not the type of person that I would ever want to associate myself with ever again. So and he was, right after they had broken up, he was checking out all of my stuff, and I found that extremely uncomfortable. Like, it was uncomfortable for me. So I blocked them from ever seeing my stories. I mean, I think I still let them see my profile and stuff because I don't have a private account, but they can't see my stories or anything, because just knowing that he's there, like, looking, makes me very angry. because I hold a grudge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I need to get better at like being on social media because I didn't know you could block somebody from. I
I
don't have
mean,
anyone to block, but
you know that. Oh, by the
it's
way, the
good to know.
person that, yeah, the person that I was like mentioning, the guy that towards the end of my dating app journey, it sounds really romantic, but it wasn't. That person actually unfollowed me on Instagram, but they unfollowed me to the point where they actually made me unfollow them. So it was like a complete
Oh,
expulsion. And I was like, that was harsh. If I cared,
man.
it was harsh. But
Yeah.
I love saying it because I'm like, wow, I didn't know that it was like that I was a problem to this person who was the problem, you know? So I feel like it's interesting. Adri says, I block all the people, coworkers I know in real life from seeing my stories. And actually, that's a
Wow.
great point because a lot of my coworkers know that I'm an author, but they don't know that I'm strange. So it's something that you need to kind of like, I mean, I'm not saying Adri is strange. Well, yeah, but you have that part in your life that you just want to keep for yourself, you know? And you just, boundaries, again, boundaries are very important.
Oh, you know what I do? So I have like a close friends thing. And like I don't use it that often, but like sometimes if
Oh,
I'm like,
yes,
oh,
the
I don't
close
want this to be
friends.
public, I'll just like put it
Close
there.
friends in. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I had some people, very kind people, say, I'm in your close friends. What? And I'm like, I did not know that this was like a touching thing. And that's so cute.
Oh.
Whoa, wait a minute. She had read all the man's emails. What man's emails? Wait, I think I missed something here. Okay. Some weeks ago, there was a lit agent who got fired from her job for being on Gab Parlor. Oh, but
Oh,
years
I
ago, she
saw
was a
that.
victim of attempted murder. Yes. That's wrong. But it's so entertaining at the same time. They don't know. They don't need to know how obsessed I am with books. That's interesting. Oh, that's actually a good question. I mean, would it be a complete deal breaker for you, Katie, if you met someone and that connection was there? You see it happening, you see it having durability, longevity, but he's not a reader. He doesn't read books. Is that a deal breaker?
I don't think I've ever been interested in a guy who reads books, which is a me problem.
It's a
I need
me
to see. I
problem.
need to pick more intelligent people to be interested
Gotta
in.
raise that bar, remember?
Honestly, so obviously it's not a deal breaker. I don't know. I feel like less and less people read books or like
Right, yeah.
I've noticed that like there seems to be a lot of shift toward like nonfiction, which is great. I love nonfiction, but like I feel like, or maybe it's just because like when I was younger, like I surrounded myself with like people who like to read. Now that
Yes.
I'm older, it just feels like people like are I don't know, everyone's attention span is shorter, and
Yeah.
like people will like watch shows or movies or be on TikTok. I'm also on
Yeah.
TikTok, but
Yes. And as I said, Queen of
yeah.
TikTok.
Not at all. But I feel like it's so rare when I see like a profile on a dating app that a guy will be like, I like to read. Like it always catches my eye.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
always
something.
like,
I mean,
interesting.
I don't really, as you say, I have not been interested in huge geeks essentially as a geek. I have been interested. That makes me sound like I only like jocks or something like that. Completely not true. But I do remember that when I was in grad school, I did like myself a couple of geeks. But here's the thing, and this is going to be something that I really want to discuss in terms of like how we relate to this because I don't know. You say and you asked what my type was. But the
Mhm.
thing is, my type, I don't attract that man. I attract men
Yes.
who are not my type. And I don't know if this happens to you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
I feel like
Why?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of women who are interested in men will say that like they never attract like their ideal type, and their ideal type is like somebody who's like ambitious, hardworking, blah blah blah. So I'm beginning
Blah,
to
blah,
wonder,
blah.
like, are we the problem? Like,
I
are all
think
of us the
it's,
problem, or are they the problem?
yeah. Like, my issue is that I've always
Yeah.
attracted guys, well, not always, because, I mean, to get even more TMI, right now I am fielding 2 offers, but not that sounded like I'm an agent and I'm like checking to see what the best offer is for my client.
That was such a publishing thing to say.
I
That
know,
was
I'm
so
so
publishing.
sorry. I'm so sorry. But right now I'm fielding two offers in terms of like there are two people who are interested in talking to me, but not like for real. So I feel
Oh.
like neither one of those is my type, unfortunately. But that's the story of my
Hmm.
life. I don't think I've ever attracted someone who I in my mind was like, yes, there he is. That's the guy, you know? And I always
Yeah.
like guys that don't like me back.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh
such
yeah.
a that's a me thing. That's a me problem.
I
And I
think
don't know if that
there's
happens.
no. Oh, that's the story of my. We're really living the same life. Like
Yes,
everything you
that's why
say,
I
I'm
really
just
wanted
like,
to do this with you because I'm like, I feel the most normal talking to Katie. Like, this is just who we are.
I love that you're saying it's normal, and we're both just like having a breakdown on
Yes.
camera.
It's like, wow, like no one likes me. I'm kidding. People like us. It's just that we don't like them back.
I think there is something to like opposites attract. Like I
Right.
feel like I'm very introverted. I love reading, obviously. I've always been like a very like quiet, like just like not the kind of person who like walks into a room and is the life of the party. I'm like the one in the corner just like listening to everybody. So
Yeah.
I'm attracted to that kind of person, even if I like say I want a guy who reads books or like will want to go to bookstores with me. The kind of guy I'm attracted to is like the extrovert, like life of the party kind of guy. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, life of the party kind of guys are also the kinds of guys who don't like being cuffed or who just like things just don't work out because like we're too different. I don't
Right.
know if that's been like similar to your experience, but I think that's like what I figured out.
Well, in my case, what happens is that I tend to like my men. That sounded weird. I like my men. I like my men who are just a little bit more outgoing, but not in
Yes.
a loud way.
Mm.
Someone who is just funny and isn't trying too hard to get people to notice them, but they're comfortable with who they are. They're not trying to impress anyone just to impress them. If they just end up being the life of the party, then that's who they are. But I tend to attract quieter guys. I tend to attract people who
Hmm.
are even more introverted than me. And I have no problem with being an
Interesting.
introvert. Yes, I don't get it. I don't understand. Because I feel like I can be a little bit loud when I'm happy and excited. I make a lot of jokes and I have a charming quality to my
Yeah.
personality. And then the guys that are interested in me like me for those things, but I don't see them bringing anything to the table. If that makes any sense. It's like, okay, that's great that you think I'm interesting, but you're not, you know? I'm sorry.
Okay, that's why I cannot be on dating apps. I'm just like
Right. Yes.
every single profile, I'm like, okay, first he has a fish picture. Like, what does he do for a living? Oh,
That's
he
strike one.
works at this like big firm, or he's a lawyer or an accountant
Oh,
or an
yeah.
engineer. And I'm like, and then he'll say like hobbies, interests. I like watching Netflix. What else? I don't like going to concerts. I also like going to concerts, but that's not
Yeah.
my personality.
Yes,
Um,
exactly.
I
Exactly.
it's just I feel like we're just like writers are just a very different breed of person,
Yeah.
and we're just like every writer I've met has just been like just so different. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but like we're just really different from like most people, and
Yeah.
like
It's hard
I
to
don't
make
know, yeah,
connections. We spend all of our days like imagining people, and the relationships need to be structured and they need to be logical and coherent and they
yeah,
need to make sense on the page, even though they make sense in our heads. But then when we try to make connections, we're trying to do the same thing, I guess. Like we're trying to lay it all
yeah.
out. And life is not logical and coherent all the time. So I feel like I'm trying to find a reason why these men are the ones that are attracted to me, but I'm not attracted to them. How can I make the ones that I like me back, you know? But at the same time, it's like I have had instances where it has been mutual, but it's just like
Yeah.
they're not common. It's not like the story of my life, you know? So I feel like it's interesting. Get a pulse and some specificity. Yes. Like no, Netflix is not a personality trait,
Yep.
please.
Yep.
Although it's fun to do. You definitely should watch
Yeah.
Netflix because it's getting a little bit more. Although I don't know if you, I saw that this was a huge thing, but the Winx show, I
Oh
have not
yeah.
seen the original or this version, but I love seeing people drag this version because it's like everyone hates it.
I'm just like,
Right.
this is totally a tangent from our main conversation, but like I wish they would stop remaking like like books that were
Yes.
like our childhood favorites and like wrecking them instead of like,
Yes.
I mean, they could be adapting like new work by BIPOC
Yeah.
too. Like, okay, even if it's bad, like at least they're doing something, right? But like,
Yeah.
why are you ruining our childhoods and like not even supporting BIPOC? I just,
Yeah.
where's the logic? I don't understand.
And also, like, they suck the joy out of the original property.
Yeah.
They do it because, oh my God, everything needs to be darker and you know, like more intense. But that doesn't mean quality. You know, it's
Yeah.
not synonymous with enjoying it, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's part of, also, we can kind of say that for dating as well. If you're always like really like high strong, like this is it, I am going on my first date with this person, whether it's a virtual, I mean, Zoom dates are a thing, and I assume speed dating is a thing.
I don't want, oh no, thank you. Not for me.
Can you imagine? You're like,
No.
hi, bye, and then you click on another hi, and then you click and this guy, it's hilarious. I feel like, imagine just being with the one person you like, that there's a connection, and then the Wi-Fi goes out or something.
You're like, well, that's the end of that.
That's a sign. It was never meant to be. But I feel like when we add so many layers to things that don't need to have those layers yet, when we like, oh, I'm having coffee with this person, or I'm texting with this person, but is this the father of my children? You know, like it's just, it stresses us out. And dating is not supposed to be stressful.
Yeah.
Dating is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to like help us de-stress, not stress us more. Yes, Zoom speed dating is a thing, the premise of a horror story. Now someone needs to write that, actually. Someone needs to write this book. Like Zoom speed dating, it's with a serial killer, a group of serial killers.
Oh man, don't look at me. I don't want to write that.
That would be so great. I'm waiting for the grimdark adaptation of Solitaire. Oh no.
Oh.
I don't know if that's what we need. I don't know. Let's say we don't.
Oh man.
But I feel like a lot of the dating tropes, for example, like I was mentioning, that our books don't have any or they're not centered in romantic relationships for our main characters, because there are relationships that, and you know, in the periphery, or there's a little bit of like ooh kind of action going on, or energy. The ooh energy is there. But when it comes to tropes, your favorite tropes, when it comes to romance, like, is there something that off the top of your head you're like, yes, I would die for this specific trope, or one day I would love to write a romance just because of this trope?
So I am really bad at writing romance. I'm trying to get better, but it's hard when you haven't had much experience, and the only experience you have had is bad. It's like, how do I write a good one?
It's like, what is going on?
I can write you a tragic love story. I can write you a love story where the guy's trash.
Yes,
Writing one where
absolutely.
the man is good, I'm like, I don't know what that is.
What is a good man?
It's truly
never,
fantasy to me.
I don't understand. Like, you're talking to me in a language I do not speak.
Yeah.
But I feel like in my case, I know a lot of people love the fake dating trope.
Yeah.
I love it as well, but I feel like my favorite would probably be the one person in the relationship is like really grumpy and like really just like done with everything and does not want to know about anyone. It's like, I am by myself and there's no one in this entire world who will ever make me soft. And then the other person is the definition of soft. It's like they're the light, the beacon of hope. in the dynamic. And I love that. I love that so much. I wish there were more of those because I also like this is completely different to that trope, but I love The Wedding Planner, the Jennifer Lopez movie with the white man, Matthew McConaughey.
I think I don't remember what it's about, but I think I watched it
Oh,
like a long time ago.
long story short, she's a wedding planner and she's planning the wedding of
Oh,
a very
right.
rich
Yeah, yeah.
woman. And she finds out that the woman is engaged to the guy she had a connection with. And it's like, whoa, like that's wrong. Like you should not root for this couple because, he's engaged, but you root for them because of the chemistry mostly.
Mhm.
And that's something that I think it was like yesterday they announced the Mr. and Mrs. Smith reboot, and people were like, "Oh, so we're just casting people to be couples, but we don't have to guarantee chemistry anymore." And I'm like, "Oh Christ, that's the white man. Yes, he is he not the definition of a white man?"
Yeah.
Even he would agree. He'd like, "Yeah, I'm white. I am the whitest."
So very,
Says
very white.
Luz and Amity, Cora and Asami, though Asami isn't mean, Weiss and Ruby, Tahani and Eleanor, give it to me all day long. I love that because, they're slowly, whether it's television, books, movies, slowly getting into more of that grumpy soft dynamic. But I feel like more people of color should be able to write those and not be seen as, oh, you're ripping off this other author or
Oh,
this other
yeah.
person. I'm like, no, it's a trope. People can write tropes however many times they wish and in whichever ways they wish. So
Yeah.
he is the Mayoist of white men, correct. There is no one who will ever out Mayo him. Sorry. That's now a verb.
Oh,
Out Mayo.
out Mayo. Oh my God. I don't know how I feel about that. Out
Yes, I'm
Mayo.
sorry. Do you all have a fave romance in terms of books or movies? I'm assuming it's like in general. Not Romeo and Juliet. That's that's definitely my number one no. Because as much as I love the angst behind it all,
Mhm.
people tend to mistake it with like actual true love, and that was not the point of
Yeah.
it. Yes, the White Rose and Bumblebee. Bumblebee, is that how you say it? Or Bumblebee? Bumblebee.
I
Let's
have
say
no
it's
idea.
Bumblebee.
Okay.
Oh, books, movies, and media. All right. So in terms of books, my favorite romance. Adri is going to be very excited about me saying this, but I recently enjoyed Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. I
Oh.
love that relationship, how it develops, and the ending made me not weep, but I was very like sad in a happy way. I was happy in a sad way. I don't know if I
Mhm.
was happy, but I was crying.
Oh. Oh, I feel that.
Yes, in terms of movies, say it before I can. I beat you to it. Um, oh, and You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah
Oh, that one was
Johnson.
so good.
I was just like that whole like ending destroyed me, but in a great way. Cemetery Boys, I love that book. Yes, as you should. It is quality. Don't tell Aiden though; it'll get to their head. But I feel like another romance, like a romance-heavy book. I don't know. Like I just love romance in general, but
Mhm.
like a favorite. But one of my favorite ships, and then we can let Katie talk because I'm talking too much. But one of my favorite ships is actually Rick and Michonne from The Walking Dead, because that's a couple that was never supposed to happen. And I love that he would never be worthy of her. Like, you look at him and he's like not the type of man who deserves to be by her side or at her side. And she genuinely loves him because he is a like selfless person, and he is a good leader, but he's also a terrible leader, and she calls him out on all of his crap. She doesn't care about hurting his feelings, and he falls in love with her, and he's like essentially seeing her as the mother of his children. She's raising his children with him, and then it's like clicking that, oh, this is hot. This is great. You're a provider, I'm a provider. You're so self-sufficient and independent, and I also struggle, but I want to be like you. Like, they are impressed with each other and they fight for one another, and it's just it's quality. I love it.
Mhm.
So do you have any like a favorite romance that is either in movies or books, television?
I feel like I think you were getting at this a little bit earlier. Like I do like reading romance, but there's nothing that like super like when you say what's your favorite romance book, I'm immediately like this title just like changed my life. I
Yes.
think like and I think that that is kind of because like I've never had that experience, so it's hard for me to pick up a romance book and just like feel such a connection to it. Like I'll read
Yeah.
it and be like this is enjoyable, but I'll never be like oh, like I feel like I had a similar experience and like this book spoke to me. But I guess I will say You Should See Me in a Crown was one of my recent reads. Actually, it wasn't that recent, but time doesn't make sense anymore. That I really love, just because like I love that it was like Leah's voice is just so vibrant, and
Yeah.
it like it sucked me in from page one. I was like, I love these characters. I like want to be their friends.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love her writing style, and it's like right up my alley. So it wasn't really the romance that got me. It was like the writing style and the
Yeah.
characters. So like you see where I'm going here. It's
It's she
normally not
just
the
feels so
romance.
familiar, like
Yeah.
relatable. She feels like
Yeah.
someone, and I know that that's not what you're always looking for in a romance or in a story, but she feels like someone that you want to take care of and
Yeah.
someone that you want to root for. Even the Leah Johnson can step on me. Okay, Addie.
Absolutely.
You Should See Me in a Crown. Just added that to my list. Good. Look at us. Look at us.
It's so good.
Look
It
at us
like
selling.
it was. I think I read it. When did it come out? I think I read it like in
Last
on release
spring, I
week,
believe.
or yeah, I read it in like the summer. I think,
Or was
and
it
it was like
summer?
yeah, I was in a funk,
don't
and that book just like lifted my mood like so high. It
Yeah.
was so good.
I mean, that's prime. That's prime.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and speaking of, actually, the trope that is mostly when it comes to like the romances that came out last year at my debut group, that was, so stressful for a lot of us. A lot of the
Yes.
romances were promoted in ways that made me happy because usually they are not like contemporary romances are not that publicized or not that respected, I should say, actually,
Yeah.
because they're seen as like disposable entertainment. They're seen as like, well, they're just like when you're bored. But, I think because Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, for example, that book set off like this intense craving for more contemporary romance. Of course, you have people like Sarah Dessen who have made careers out of selling,
Yeah.
these romances that are set in contemporary worlds, and other authors, of course, mostly white people. But you see this need, this craving, as I said, for more romance. And I don't know if it's because it offers us escapism during what is one of the worst years in history, or because we really have always loved romance, but we've never truly respected it enough. I don't know, like where the balance is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just so happy that people are just picking up more romance, especially as singles, because we can say, "Oh wow, that was such a great romance." Close the book, and you're done. You're still single.
Yep. Still very single.
Yay!
I kind of feel like reading romance when I was younger, it gave me like I don't want to say
Yeah.
unrealistic expectations, but like I really
yeah.
thought I would be in like an enemies to lovers situation by now.
Ooh, I
Or
love
like
that.
or like married or
Yeah.
something. And I'm just like, no, I've always been single. The men
Yeah.
they're just so subpar. Like real cis men, like in real life, just no.
In real life, men are just disappointing. But I feel like if I could talk, if 17-year-old Amparo were to talk to me today, she would be disappointed in in the romantic sphere of my life. But she would, or not disappointed, but she would have expected me to be married by now, right?
Yeah.
But she would be like, oh, so those were your options? Okay, then you're better off, right? but she would also be impressed with everything else I've accomplished and with how much more comfortable I am being myself versus when I was a teenager, that I literally felt like I had no personality. And it's because I just never dared to stir the pot and like change it up with boring conversations about the same things that no one cared about. But yes, I think that nowadays we're both better people and better at being ourselves. And it's honestly a privilege for all of you to see this. You get us now.
honor.
Imagine. You don't get us when we were struggling to figure ourselves out.
Man.
No. You get the quality us. That's great. Speaking of quality, I wanted to highlight the fact that Katie has 2 books coming out this year. Not 1, 2. Okay? That is GOAT behavior.
Oh, thank you.
So I believe Last Gamer Standing is the last one coming out. It's in September, yeah?
Yeah, September 21st.
Okay, and so How We Fall Apart is August.
August 3rd.
August 3rd. So, I mean, is there romance in either one of those books?
So in Last Gamer Standing, actually no. I think I planned to have like a tiny little crush situation. But then when I was doing edits, it just kind of got like cut out. I was like, well, it's just like I didn't editors. Well, no, it was me. I cut it out. I was just like, I feel like I'm kind of like forcing this just to have something here. I don't want to put it in there. So
it doesn't feel organic.
Whoop. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it belongs at Whole Foods. Yeah, exactly. I'm so excited for Last Gamer Standing as well. Like people are just like so it's a privilege to perceive us. Yes, I love that. that should be on a t-shirt.
Yes.
But I feel like, I mean, how does it feel to know that even though we're still in a pandemic and we're perpetually single, hashtag, you are so accomplished and your dreams, like everything that you fought for is real now. Does that in any way make you want to pat yourself on the back to the point where you're like forgetting all about all of those bad times that you had, whether it was with dating or whether it was with actually writing? Like you were like, wow, this is never going to get published. I'm never going to see, my books will never see the light of day. No, actually, you have 2 books out already and 2 books coming out this year. Like you're on incredible, like your track is like, I can't even see it. It's like, oh, there, the standard is, whoa, I can't see it.
Oh my gosh, you're too sweet. Honestly, like, I feel like all writers will relate to this, but like we have our up days and our down days, and like especially like the past couple of months, it's just been down, like a tiny little up, then down, you know? So like it's really easy for me at least to get caught up in thinking about where like I want my career to be one day and then think, I don't even know if I can get there. But whenever I get those feelings, I tell myself to take a step back and think like 15-year-old Katie, what would she have said if she knew what I was doing now?
Yeah.
And she would be like blown away.
Yeah.
Like she would be like, what the heck? Like who
so
cares
proud.
About boys? You're published. Like we did it.
We totally did the thing, as they say. And I feel like in terms of how we conceptualize success, it's very important to always hype ourselves up, even if we, you know, don't feel good. But at the same time, a lot of readers, a lot of fellow writers who are not agented or published, they see, as you say, the good parts or the victory reels. And it's important for us to always reiterate that we are not always happy. We are not always feeling our best, but we're trying our best. And sometimes we don't even try our best, and that's fine too. Yeah. Like whatever it is that you feel like or wherever it is that you feel like you're lacking in, it's okay. Like you don't have to be at 100 all the time or even like half the time. Right.
Yeah.
But just caveat, Katie is killing it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
And we're very fortunate to have her. And also, we're very fortunate to have her books. So I really wanted to get into our giveaways because Katie is giving away. Let's tell the people, the good people, what you're giving away today.
Wait, How We Fall Apart, right? A pre-order of How We Fall Apart. Are we also doing Last Gamer Standing?
She's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Love
like,
the
I have 2
energy.
books,
That was
but I
so
don't remember
chaotic.
if we were giving away both of them.
I mean,
Oh.
sure.
We're giving wait, I just remember we're giving away the Dragon Warrior and the Fallen Hero and How We Fall Apart. Yes?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm giving away a copy of this thing. There it is.
Woo!
BLAZEWRATH Games. Woo! So yes, this is going to be what I like to call a trivia situation. Not like a full-on trivia game, but sometimes we don't even try our best. Well, I mean, we all know that you don't always try your best, Adri. You didn't have to say it. I love trolling, Adri. They are my enemy, my sworn enemy. You all know this. So, all right. So, in terms of this game, this trivia game that we've got going on, I have pulled up some quotes from either a book or a movie. And usually it's romance heavy. Those books and those movies have been romance heavy. So we have essentially here 7 opportunities to win these books. We have 4 books up for grabs, but 7 questions. So what I'm going to do is put up the quote up there on the screen, and you are going to tell me if it's a book or a movie where this comes from. And the first person to guess correctly wins. And we can have more than one winner for the same book, or more than one winner for the books. That's what I was going to say. I don't know words anymore.
Words are hard.
Look at what Gabby says. Great. Can't wait to get all these wrong. Come on now. By the way, oh yes, my copy will be signed. I don't know why I didn't say that. But yes. All right. So here we go. I think this is the easiest one, or one of the easiest ones. Here we go. Quote number 1. I'll never let go, Jack. Let's see. We have, what is this? A book or a movie? I think Katie already knows. Ooh. Sophia says movie. Let's see if that is correct. Movie! It's Titanic! Yes! Woo! So, by the way, Sophia, you can send me, or all of the winners, you can send me your mailing information at askamparo@gmail.com. I can put it up in a banner here, actually. I didn't put that banner. Yes, here we go. This is where you're going to send me your information so that we can get those pre-orders and books to you. Right there. Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations, Sophia. Oh, wait. Which book did she win?
I think she gets to choose, right?
Oh, okay. You can choose. We're choosing now.
This is so chaotic. I love it.
Yes. So, yes. I mean, I promised chaos. Did I not? Look at this. Whoever doesn't know this is going to get a swift kick from me. No violence. Like, what is wrong with you? I mean, I love violence. I'm a connoisseur of the violent ways. But yeah, this is, yes. Congratulations, Sophia. Yes. All right. So let's see. Oh, yes. You can mention in the email. I was like, what am I trying to say? You can mention in the email which book you want. So we have 3 more winners. Let's go and see. Quote number 2. Dun, 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 dun. Is this quote number 2? Yes, it is. Quote number 2. I didn't fall for you. You tripped me. Is this a book or is this a movie? Let us see. Oh, yes, Sophia, you can pick How We Fall Apart. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, yay!
Excuse me, Titanic is iconic. Yes, we know, Adri, we know. All right, so Books Lattes says book. All right, Gabi says book, and Alyssa says book as well. So is it a book? Let's see. Quote number 2. Let's put it up again. I didn't fall for you. You tripped me. It's actually a book. Yay! It's actually To All the Boys I've Loved Before. It was not in the movie. It was in the book.
Oh.
Yes. So this one goes out to Books, Lattes, and Journaling. You won the book of your choice. Yay! But it can't be How We Fall Apart. So yes, email me at my email. That sounded so professional. email me at my email, your mailing address, and we will get those books to you. This is really fun. All right. So, it's fun for me anyway. All right. So, quote number 3. But mostly, I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all. Is this a book or is this a movie?
I should know this one. But don't.
Oh, yes. So books gets BLAZEWRATH games. Yes, you can. Oh, okay. Gabby guessed first, and Gabby says movie. Anyone else? Does anyone want to? Oh, another iconic staple. Taylor says movie. Books and Latte says book. And Alisa says book. All right. So let's see who got that right. Movie! 10 Things I Hate About You. As Adri says, iconic. Very iconic. So, Gabby, you won a book. Yay! Wait,
Woo!
no. Wait, did I get that right? Yes, you did. It was Gabby guessed first. Yes. So, Gabby, you won the book of your choice, but BLAZEWRATH Games and How We Fall Apart are taken. They're taken. Yay! So, that's great. I'm so happy for everyone. Get it, Gabby. Yes. All right. So we have 2 books left. 3 books left. No, 2 books left.
2 books.
Yes, because we have How We Fall Apart, BLAZEWRATH Games, and Gabby is going to choose a book that she desires. I did it. Yes, you did. Congratulations. I love that they were like, she was like, oh, I'm going to get all these wrong. No. All right. So I think this one will also be easy given the entire show. Quote number 4, Liz Lighty, will you go to prom with me?
Aww.
So is this a book or a movie?
I know this one.
Yes. Is that a book or a movie? Let's see. Gabby forgot what the options were. So the books that are left are The Dragon Warrior, The Fallen Hero, and I think that was it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, we only have 2 books left. No, wait. For her, it was Last Gamer Standing.
You can have
Right?
Last Gamer Standing if you want.
Oh, okay. Gabby, would you like Last Gamer Standing?
Fly.
I love how we're just so chaotic, keeping our word, staying true to our word. I love it. So, who wants to tell me, Liz Lighty, will you go to prom with me? Is that a book or a movie? Where does it come from? And I believe after this one, then we have only The Dragon Warrior and Fallen Hero, or just The Dragon Warrior. Yes, it's just The Dragon Warrior. So this is the final book. This is the final book. Let me see. I love that the comment is like, I forgot what the options were. Sophia says, I know what it is. Taylor says a book. Taylor says a book. Let's see if Taylor is correct. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. Yes. Taylor, you have won a copy of The Dragon Warrior. By the way, is that copy signed, Katie? Because I forgot to mention that my copy will be signed.
Yeah, I can sign them.
Yay, perfect. All right. So these Taylor is very happy.
Yay.
Yes, congratulations to our winners. That's amazing. Sweet. Oh, I haven't heard that word in so long, actually. Sweet. Great. Congratulations to all. And now I'm going to tease Katie to see if she can guess the remaining quotes that I've chosen. So I think you'll be able. And let's see if anyone can beat her in the comments. All right. So quote number 5. If you ever scare me like that again, he said breathlessly, I'll kill you myself, Julian Diaz.
Okay, this is Cemetery Boys, right?
It is! Yes! You got it!
Okay, I haven't even finished the book. I just have seen on Twitter, like,
so much Julian Diaz talk.
And I'm like, wait, I know this one.
It's a lot. It's
so funny.
It's a lot of Julian Diaz's out there.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Dear Astor Flores, I'm in love with you. Is that a book or is that a movie?
Oh, I feel like I should know this one. I keep saying that, but I'm like, I don't know this one.
You don't know this one? Does anyone know? Dear Astor Flores, I'm in love with you. Like it's really like to the point. It's super romantic. It's like I'm in love with you. Can you imagine someone saying, "Dear Katie Zhao, I'm in love with you," like that? Like
No.
so, you can't imagine it. Oh, okay, yeah,
No.
I can't imagine it for me either.
No.
All right, so since Katie didn't guess, I'm gonna spoil it for her. It's a movie. The half of it.
I knew it. I watched it. Oh my god. I told you I'm so bad at these quotes.
I love it though. I love it though. Because I just, wow, interesting. All right. And the last quote: Your soul sings to mine. My soul is yours. And it always will be in any world, no matter what happens. That is so dramatic. Like, now that I'm looking at the quote, I'm
Wow.
like, that's drama. By the way, yes, remember, this is the email that you will be sending your mailing addresses to so that I can get those copies to you. And Katie and I can get those copies to you.
Yes.
So, does anyone want to guess where that's from? Oh, screenwriters could never. I know, right? This has to be a book. Correct, it is a book. Let's see which one. Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor.
Oh,
Yay!
wow.
It's actually the only one that I've read from the trilogy because I haven't read them for some reason, even though I should be interested in these books. But I did enjoy this one a lot. I was like, oh, interesting. It's
I read
something...
it in high school. Like
okay, well, that's it. That's why you couldn't guess it.
It's just, I feel like, when did
It's
they
been
come
so
out?
long.
Whenever
Oh
they
my
came
god,
out,
like
that's when I read them.
yeah, like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Lainey has Strange the Dreamer, that duology thingy.
Yeah.
Thingy. It's a thingy now. The Strange the Dreamer, and then the other one that I don't remember the title. So, but it sounds great.
Yeah.
It sounds really well written, which is, the important part.
It probably is.
It probably is. I mean, I feel
Yes.
like Laini Taylor is so talented.
Yes.
And, everyone that we've mentioned here that wrote a book is great as well. But as we said, don't tell Aiden or Leah anything because it's going to get to their heads. So, yeah. Because, they don't need more publicity. They've only owned the New York Times bestseller list. They've had enough. They don't need us gassing them up. And thank you for the book. Of course, thank you for being here and for participating. Thank you for wanting our books.
Yeah.
Because, it's hard out here for people who are us. I love how to the point that was. It's hard out here for people who are us.
It is though.
I mean, I'm so grateful that I got to spend time with Katie because I've been meaning to spend time with Katie for a very long time. You were one of the very first author friends that I made, and it was just so fun to see someone who is as excited about books and fantasy books specifically. It was just like, oh my god, this person is so cool, and they accept me in their space. I love it. So thank you very much for being here with me and for spending your Valentines with me. That's huge.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad. I'm so excited for you and your career, all these awesome books you're writing, and your
thank you.
amazing your AuthorTube channel. All the videos that you put up, I'm just like, yes, queen. Love all of it. And I'm so glad we got to talk about being single, but happy being single, because not enough people talk about that.
Yes, and I feel like we should help others understand that no, you don't need a partner to feel like you've made it. We haven't made it in the traditional sense of we failed as people, as adults. We don't have a partner. Wow, failure. But it's not true at all. I think failure is whether you're happy or not. And if you're happy and you're growing and your dreams are coming true, then you've made it. And that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. Men with fish pictures, be gone.
Yes.
To Glitter to Blood. We can't wait. Yes, the sequel. That is the official title for our sequel. Or my sequel, I should say.
Can't wait. It's going to be so good.
Well, October 5th. October 5th is the official release date. I'm hoping to reveal the cover that I still haven't seen. I saw a sketch soon. So I'm really excited to see what the cover actually looks like because the sketch made me scream. So yes, and to finally say, oh, this is my book, this is what it's about, and talk about it. Yeah. But I'm so excited, everyone. Please, if you haven't, pre-order Katie's books and purchase Katie's previous books, or request them at your local library, or ask a friend who already owns them, because I love asking for my friends' books. I'm like, can you just lend me this book and you will never see it again? Or I will have it for 5 years and you will see it in the 6th year of your life. So yes. What? You're not releasing it on my birthday? No, you're not that special. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a lovely rest of your Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for staying with us and having all the chaotic fun that was possible. I mean, we have more chaos to unleash on the world.
Oh man.
But
It's just
and we should
endless.
yes, I do have a couple of ideas for future live streams. So maybe we could do like a round table and like have more chaos thrown at the world, but with Katie involved.
Yes. I'm always here for the chaos. You need chaos, just call on me.
Yay! I love that. Well, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yay! And congrats to our
Woo!
winners.
Oh, and yeah, congrats on 3 books.
Congrats on free books. That's always a great thing. Happy
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
Happy
Oh,
Valentine's Day.
wait. Random question, but are there any giveaways for physical arcs of How We Fall Apart? I love that we all like said goodbye and I just saw this. I'm so sorry, books. I'm so sorry, but yes.
Yeah, I have like I think 7 or 8 more left, and basically just gonna keep like going with the promo for the next few months and probably do like a giveaway every month till release date. So keep an eye out.
That's amazing. Yes, keep an eye out. All right, now we can like wrap it up for real. I'm so sorry that I missed that question, but yes. Bye.
Bye.